I refute, I Matumbo, I Dikembe Mutombo style block the idea. No. I reject the very premise of Little Kim even being qualified for this discussion. When we're talking about the GWOAT, the greatest woman wordsmith of all time, Little Kim does not qualify because her best work was Hardcore, which was a bunch of Biggie verses that was given to Little Kim to say in a female's voice. The patterns, the cadence, the rhyme structure is identical. And even some will cite that her best verse was the Quiet Storm remix verse. And it has been stated multiple times that that was a leftover verse from Hardcore that was written by Biggie. So
what about the Put Your Lighters Up? That album was pretty good. That was her work.
We don't know that.
But
we don't
was
know
it?
that. Some of that might have been Sauce Money. Some of that might have been Jay. Like there are multiple ghostwriters who wrote for Little Kim. And even if you compare, like, okay, if these were verses she wrote later on, they don't compare to those Hardcore verses. They don't compare to the verses that she got from the crusty Biggie notebook that she had under her bed. Like, doesn't count. Like, and that's the same.
Crusty,
like you don't qualify. like you don't qualify if you don't write your own bars. If you don't write at least 95% of your own bars, you don't qualify for the woke conversation. So same thing with Foxy Brown. Like people always cite Foxy Brown ain't write her own bars most of the time. Queen Pen ain't write her own bars. Emil ain't write her own bars. It's the same thing with Little Kim. Same thing with so many of the prominent main industry women MCs right now. Like
Cardi B. I'm gonna give Martina a chance to respond. What do you have to say about? Martina, what do you have to say about the Little Kim omission? And what do you have to say about
omission? You got the Little Kim-esque hair, so you know I'm curious.
Martina, I want to say, what do you have to say about this, Martina? The introduction of Missy Elliott, maybe Raw Digger, and the Little Kim omission.
Right. I kind of get what he's saying about like Missy Elliott being a dope songwriter, because it's like how he was saying, a lot of MCs don't make good music.
Facts.
That's true. But it's like I still stand on like MC Lyte being like the best as far as lyricism. But MC Lyte, Missy Elliott, I definitely give her props. Like she was dominating, she made good music. But as far as the lyricism, I think MC Lyte definitely got that. Lil' Kim, she definitely can't really be up there with the rest of the rappers just because of the fact that she hasn't wrote most of her music. And like Langston was saying, that's a lot of what's going on in the industry now. Like, you know, you got the Cardi B's, you got the City Girls, you got, Nicki Minaj, she writes her music, I think. Nicki Minaj.
I think.
You have to think about it. It's been a question, you know. She's a Little Kim archetype.
Right, but she says she writes her music, so I guess we got take her word for it. But Cardi, the City Girls, they on their Little Kim tip, and I just feel like I'm not going to down them for like wanting to have a career in music, but at the same time, I just don't think they should get the same respect as like artists who have been putting in the footwork and the hard work to write their music.
Now, just to my defense, when I came on here, Kareem, you said greatest female rapper of all time. It was not specified as a lyricist. That is a completely different conversation to me. So I just
it's okay. I like the fact you came on here. I mean, it could be whatever you want to mean. Sometimes I like it that way to trigger people on purpose. But I understand.
Lyricists are different.
Yeah, true.
Different.
Usually when we say MC, we're talking about the art form, and lyricism is weighed more heavily than other elements. But being a songwriter is probably the best talent that anybody can have, in my opinion.
To the Missy Elliott point, my initial reaction is absolutely, are you serious? But hear me out though, and let me proceed through the rest of my breakdown, because I actually, though I refute and reject Little Kim, I raise you instead two other MCs that we have not talked about but should not be left out. I raise you Bahamadia, and I raise you Roxanne Shante. I would actually rank Roxanne Shante third behind MC Lyte and Lauryn Hill.
Why?
Just because
she's the battle MC?
The sheer level of skill, the ability at a very young age to stand face to face with other MCs, most of them dudes and destroy them, and her ability to create dope songs on wax. Like Roxanne Shante took no backseat to nobody at the time that she was coming out with those records. And even though Lord Finesse may have wrote a thing here or there for, that was only because that was just the regular thing. Lord Finesse wrote some stuff for everybody in the Deuce group. But she could hold her own writing-wise and MC-wise. I would put 4, I would say, actually, I would put Queen Latifah there. Because of all the reasons stated.
But Tretch wrote some things for Queen Latifah.
No, I've never heard that was true. I've actually never heard for myself that was true, that was just a rumor just because they.
I love Queen Latifah. I think her message was very important, more important than the imagery that someone like a Little Kim or Nicki Minaj presents. I wish Queen Latifah had did more. But bad Ali for not mentioning Roxanne Shante. She should definitely be in the conversation. Even if Tretch did pin a thing here and there, I would say it wasn't more than 95% of her lyrical output. Okay.
Like Little
she still has to deliver it. She made great songs like Delmar Omega, great songs from Queen Latifah back in the day. She was an MC that made
powerful
good music as well.
And then I would put 5, I would put Bahamadia, because if you don't know about Bahamadia was one of the illest MCs, period, at that time. Like her verses was completely sunning niggas.
Omega has Are You Serious? Go ahead, brother.
No. I did mention Bahamadia.
You did mention it.
I said Bahamadia. Okay, so I agree with just about everything except for Roxanne Shante, solely because we have a thing. Hip hop is aged considerably. So now we have generations of it. I personally feel like the bookends of hip hop people cannot compete with the skill level of some of the people in the middle. So when you say Roxanne Shante, yeah, she was fire then, but even the dudes back then weren't fire for real. So it's like, who was her scale? So when I think about lyrical complexity, you got to take it to a stage where we know how to do different things now. Would Roxanne Shante be fire in '98?
I would say she was a level ahead of her peers at the time.
Okay.
Let me say this though. Let me say this before you get there. I mean, you have to give people respect for what they did in their time in their era. It's like a sports argument. There are people now that are more skilled as basketball players than they were back in the day, but that doesn't mean that players back in the day couldn't necessarily compete then, or if they came up now. So if Roxanne Shante was a kid now, she came up in Martina Lynch's era, would she have developed some of the same skills that Martina has now? Or if Martina was born in 1974, would she be the Roxanne Shante of that day? She wouldn't be as developed as she is now because she wouldn't have been exposed to it. So you got to give her credit for her dominance in her time period.
But okay, hear me out though. Honorable mention that should be mentioned that has not been mentioned. The Brat. I gotta raise you. The Brat. The Brat should be a part of this conversation. The Brat deserves top 5 in this discussion, absolutely. And I gotta give Missy Elliott her credit, because when those first 2 albums, I was disgusted by the low level of lyricism on them. But her ability to produce, her creativity, her cleverness, she directed most of her own videos on those records. However, when her 3rd album came out, Timbaland testifies she came into the studio for those sessions with a brand new notebook of new rhymes. It blew his mind away. When you listen to This Is a Test, this is not a test. Like, oh my God, she's rhyming her ass off. So like, to Missy Elliott's credit, she personally put work into advancing her lyricism on that 3rd and 4th album, and she elevated lyrically.
Omega, I'm gonna let you make your final point.
Okay.
Make it quick.
All right, wrap it up real quick. Bahamadia, agree with. MC Light, agree with. Little Kim, I think, is a no. Not Little Kim. Lauryn Hill is a no. Not enough work. He is a no. I need at least 2 albums from you.
Now, wait a minute. Now, what about people argue that Biggie may not have had enough work, and some consider him to be the greatest.
But also, his impact was amazing. His impact changed hip hop, period, just like pop. So even though Lauryn Hill altered some things, what I'm saying is, not her
make an impact.
Not her place as an artist was impactful.
Okay.
Not her place as a rapper.
Just want to be clear.
different conversation.
Martine, I'll give you the right to anchor, sister, because we're talking about sisters here, and you're one of the dopest ones, so we'll give you the right to make the final point.
Right. So closing out, MC Light, she taking home the crown. We got Lauryn Hill runner up. I mean, I get what he's saying. She definitely does not have like the amount of work that a lot of.
That's why you put MC Light ahead of her.
But yeah, that's why I put MC Light in front of Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, and honestly, I put Lil Kim right there just because she was the options. But I would probably put the Brat right there instead of Lil Kim. How Slangston, look, I'm gonna agree with Slangston. Like the Brat should definitely be up there because she got the crazy fire flows.
No one ranks Foxy Brown anywhere.
Foxy is
right
my
enough
favorite.
for verse.
It's your favorite.
Foxy is my personal favorite. Yeah, Foxy is my
Jay-Z
favorite.
Okay.
Yo, there's a 12-inch that the Fugees put out in like 2004. Listen to Lauren's verse on the A side. One of the greatest verses ever written, period. That verse alone puts her in the discussion.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Just right before we wrap this up. If I take 23 pointers in my life and I make 15 out of those 20 over a 50-year period, am I a great three-point shooter?
Statistically, yeah.
Yes, but logically, am I a great three-point shooter?
You're just someone who doesn't take three-pointers. Maybe it wasn't emphasized in the game at that time. We got to go Kareem Ali TV. Are you serious?
So I have to stand here today as what I was when I was born, a black man.
Your racism bounces off me, I'm bulletproof. Your prejudice gets deflected, I'm bulletproof. Your hatred can't penetrate me, I'm bulletproof. Our minds can't be shackled no more, nah, we know the truth. Yeah, from the spot that Malcolm stood, looking out through the window, I'm looking out over my hood.